At exactly 3:45 in the morning on a freezing, stormy night in Shelby, North Carolina, something utterly incomprehensible happened. A 9-year-old girl named Asha Degree quietly opened her front door, stepped out into the pouring rain, and walked directly into the pitch-black darkness. She wasn't running from a fight with her parents, she wasn't being dragged away by a stranger, and she certainly wasn't a rebellious teenager sneaking out for a party. No, Asha was a shy, cautious 4th grader who was absolutely terrified of the dark, paralyzed by fear of dogs, and so scared of thunderstorms that she would cry during even mild ones. Yet, on the night of February 14, 2000, during one of the most violent storms the area had seen in years, this little girl voluntarily left the safety of her warm, locked house and walked straight into a torrential downpour. She was never seen alive again. This case has haunted investigators, true crime enthusiasts, and the entire community for over 2 decades because absolutely nothing about it makes logical sense. How does a child who fears the dark walk into a storm? Why did she pack a bag? And most importantly, who, or what, was waiting for her in the darkness? To truly grasp why Asha Degree's disappearance is considered one of America's most baffling unsolved cases, you first have to understand exactly who she was. Asha Degree lived in a modest home in Shelby, North Carolina, a small industrial town of about 20,000 people, with her parents, Harold and Aquila Degree, and her older brother. By every account from family, teachers, neighbors, and classmates, Asha was the model child. She was incredibly polite, always saying yes ma'am and no sir, and was known for her academic excellence. She loved basketball and was a standout player on her school team, often reaching for frantic layups during games. But at home, the Degree household was incredibly strict. There was no computer in the house, Asha wasn't allowed to let herself in with a key when she came home from school, and the family attended church regularly. This was a girl whose entire world revolved around family, schoolwork, basketball practice, and Sunday services. Her fear of the dark was so severe and well documented that her parents later told investigators they simply could not imagine her ever going outside alone at night, let alone during a power outage caused by a massive storm. Asha was not the type of child who would run away. Period. The weekend leading up to her disappearance seemed completely ordinary, with one minor exception. On Saturday, February 12, Asha's basketball team had lost a game, and she had fouled out, which left her visibly upset. She cried along with her teammates afterward, but by Sunday morning, she appeared to have gotten over it. Sunday evening passed without incident. The family ate dinner together, Asha and her brother did their homework, and everyone went to bed early because they had school and work the next day. Around 8 p.m., Asha and her brother went to bed in the room they shared. At midnight, their father Harold checked on them. Both children were sound asleep in their beds. He checked again at 2:30 a.m. after hearing a noise outside, and once more, both kids were exactly where they were supposed to be, sleeping peacefully. But sometime between that 2:30 a.m. check and 6:30 a.m., everything changed forever. Something, or someone, triggered a sequence of events that would become the foundation of one of the most perplexing missing child cases in American history. Between 2:30 a.m. and 6:30 a.m., while her entire family slept just feet away, Asha quietly got out of her bed. Working in complete darkness during a power outage, she methodically packed her book bag. This wasn't a random grab of toys or clothes, she was deliberate. She packed a complete change of clothes for several days, including underwear and a hair bow. She also took a personal set of keys that suggested she planned to be gone for an extended period. Most strangely of all, despite the freezing winter temperatures and pouring rain outside, she didn't take an appropriate coat. She put on a light white dress and simply walked out of the house. She was careful enough to lock the door behind her. When her mother Aquila went to wake the children for school at 6:30 a.m., she found Asha's bed empty and neatly made. The book bag was gone. The family immediately called 911, and within minutes, the Shelby Police Department descended on the quiet neighborhood. The nightmare had just begun. What makes this case truly defy all logic is that Asha wasn't just missing, she was seen by multiple witnesses. Approximately 1 hour after leaving her house, around 4 a.m., two separate truck drivers traveling southbound on Highway 18 spotted a young girl walking alone along the shoulder. The conditions were absolutely horrific: heavy rain, high winds, near-zero visibility, and freezing temperatures. The girl was wearing a light-colored dress that was now completely soaked. One driver, so concerned by the sight of what appeared to be a small child walking alone at this hour in these conditions, actually turned his 18-wheeler around in the highway. He circled back not once, but 3 separate times, desperately trying to help her. Each time his headlights illuminated the child, she became panicked. Instead of waving for help or running toward the truck, she veered off the highway and sprinted directly into the dark, dense woods lining the road. The driver searched for several minutes but couldn't find her in the woods. That panicked flight into the darkness at 4:03 a.m. was the last confirmed sighting of Asha Degree alive. No one has ever come forward to explain why she ran from help. By sunrise, the Shelby Police Department had launched what would become one of the largest searches in North Carolina history. Hundreds of volunteers combed the neighborhood, police K-9 units were brought in from across the state, helicopters with thermal imaging swept the area, and dive teams searched nearby ponds and creeks. But the relentless rain from the previous night had washed away any potential scent trails for the dogs and destroyed any footprints. The initial search near the Degree home turned up nothing. However, several days later, a breakthrough occurred about a mile from where Asha was last seen running into the woods. Volunteers discovered a small, abandoned tool shed partially hidden by brush. Inside, they found several items that sent chills down everyone's spine. There was a Mickey Mouse hair bow that matched the description of one Asha owned, a green marker of the type she used at school, and pencil shavings consistent with her schoolwork. But there were also items that didn't belong to her, candy wrappers from types of candy her parents said she was never allowed to buy, and most disturbingly, a small photograph of an unidentified young girl. This girl was not Asha, and neither Asha's family nor anyone in the community could identify her. What was this photo doing in the shed alongside Asha's belongings? For the next 18 agonizing months, the trail went completely cold. The community held vigils, the Degrees appeared on national television pleading for information, and the FBI took over the investigation. Then, on August 3, 2001, a construction contractor working on a highway construction project 26 miles away from Shelby made a discovery that reignited the case and raised even more terrifying questions. While clearing brush from a steep embankment near Highway 74, his backhoe unearthed a child's book bag that had been deliberately buried and wrapped in 2 layers of heavy black plastic trash bags. The double wrapping was not random, it suggested someone had carefully preserved the contents while trying to hide them from discovery. When police opened the bag, they confirmed it belonged to Asha Degree. Inside were papers with her name written on them, some of her clothing, and most notably, a library book from her school titled The Whipping Boy. The discovery location, 26 miles from her home, was completely inexplicable. Even if Asha had somehow walked that entire distance through woods and swamps in the dark and rain, it would have taken her days, not hours. Far more likely, someone transported her there. The contents of that buried backpack deepened the mystery to haunting levels. Mixed in with Asha's own belongings was a New Kids on the Block concert t-shirt. This was no ordinary find. The NKOTB tour the shirt commemorated had happened in the early 1990s, years before Asha was even born. The shirt was adult-sized, far too large for a 9-year-old girl. Asha had no known connection to the band, no older siblings or cousins who might have given it to her, and her parents confirmed it didn't belong in their house. Where on earth did she get this shirt? Who gave it to her, and why did she pack it in her bag? The FBI immediately sent the t-shirt to their crime lab for DNA testing, hoping the previous owner might be a match in their databases. To this day, no public results from that testing have been released, and the shirt remains one of the most baffling physical clues in the entire investigation. Someone out there knows the answer to this question. This peculiar t-shirt has fueled what many investigators consider the leading theory: Asha Degree was the victim of long-term grooming. The theory suggests that someone Asha knew and trusted, possibly a coach, a family friend, a church member, or even someone from her basketball circle, had been cultivating a relationship with her over time. This person convinced her that they would meet her that night on Highway 18 and take her somewhere safe or special. This perfectly explains several key pieces of evidence: why she voluntarily packed a bag with clothes for several days, why she locked the door behind her, suggesting she was trying to be stealthy, and why she was walking purposefully down the highway toward a specific meeting point. But something went catastrophically wrong with the plan. Perhaps the groomer arrived late, perhaps Asha got scared by the truck driver's headlights and panicked into the woods, or perhaps a second opportunist saw her vulnerability and intervened. Whatever happened, the grooming theory accounts for behaviors completely inconsistent with a simple runaway or sleepwalking scenario. The case lay dormant for years until August 8, 2016, when the FBI made a stunning announcement that provided the most concrete lead in over a decade. Acting on a specific tip from a witness, they revealed they were searching for a very particular vehicle, a green 1969 to 1972 Lincoln Mark IV or Ford Thunderbird. The witness claimed to have seen a young girl matching Asha's description climb into the passenger seat of such a car on the night she vanished, shortly after the truck driver incident. This detail is crucial because it suggests that after running terrified into the woods, Asha emerged again, possibly disoriented and desperate, and willingly entered a vehicle. Was this car driven by her groomer, finally arriving at the meeting point? Or did a supposed Good Samaritan pick her up, only for the situation to turn sinister? The FBI has canvassed car shows, checked registration records, and appealed to owners of these classic cars across the Southeast, but no one has come forward with definitive information. That green car remains the single most promising lead in solving Asha Degree's disappearance. Today, Asha Degree would be 35 years old. The tight-knit community of Shelby, North Carolina still holds an annual Asha Degree Community Walk every February 14th to keep her memory alive. Remarkably, her parents Harold and Aquila have never changed their home phone number. They still have the exact same landline they had in the year 2000, just in case their daughter ever tries to call home. The FBI maintains an active file on the case and offers a substantial reward for information leading to its resolution. They firmly believe the answer lies within the Shelby community itself, that someone local knows exactly what happened that stormy night and has carried this terrible secret for over 25 years. Age progressed images of what Asha might look like today circulate widely, and investigators continue to follow every lead, no matter how small. Asha Degree's case is not just another tragic missing child story, it is a meticulously constructed puzzle with several pieces that simply don't fit together. Why would a child who was deathly afraid of the dark deliberately walk into a raging storm at 3:45 a.m.? Who gave her an adult-sized NKOTB t-shirt from a concert that happened before she was born? Why was her backpack found buried 26 miles away in double-wrapped plastic bags? And most crucially, who was driving that green Lincoln Continental or Ford Thunderbird that picked her up from the side of Highway 18? These are not random coincidences, they are deliberate breadcrumbs leading somewhere dark. If you live in or near Shelby, North Carolina, if you owned or knew someone with one of those green classic cars in 2000, or if you remember anything unusual from that stormy February night, please contact the FBI tip line immediately. No piece of information is too small. Asha's story is far from over, and her family continues to wait by that unchanged phone number, hoping for the call that never comes. If you found this deep dive into the Asha Degree case as chilling, mysterious, and utterly baffling as I did, please smash that like button right now. It really helps the algorithm push these stories to more people who can potentially help solve them. Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell for weekly deep dives into the most perplexing unsolved mysteries from around the world. And most importantly, drop your theory in the comments below. What do you think happened to Asha Degree that night? Was it grooming gone wrong? A stranger abduction? Or something even stranger? Thank you for watching and for helping keep Asha's name and story alive. Together, we might just find the answers her family deserves. The Unseen Files 33 Gone doesn't mean forgotten.